You are listening to an entertainment program put together by a company called Financial Ineptitude. Anything said on this show is not an endorsement or professional advice. Would you really want to tell a court of law you were suing us because you thought taking financial advice from two idiots on a podcast put out by Financial Ineptitude was a good idea? Really? Clown hat smiley face.
Hello and welcome to the China Shop. Step right in, come one, come all. I'm Shopkeeper Dan, and with me as always is Kyle, creator of financialineptitude.com. How are you doing today, Kyle?
Doing all right. Stock market ended with a flurry on Friday, which is just talking about that before we started here. It was strange. I don't recall ever seeing anything like that.
Yep.
Flat for the entire week, and then 30 minutes of furious upticks.
Yeah, everybody just decided to buy. It's a fire sale on Wall Street.
I guess finally it kicked in. Everything's on sale. Yeah, I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, it just hit this magic point where everybody's buy orders triggered.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't think of that. Everyone had a bunch of trailing stop buys.
Yeah, right? So come on to the shop with us today. Sit back, relax, rage against the hedge machine. We want to welcome any new listeners just joining us. We're here in the China Shop trying to smash our way into a complete set of fine china. We like to share our ever-growing strategies for trying to maximize those gains and cut those losses. And if you're new to the shop and stock trading in general, you can always check out the Knowledge Center on financialineptitude.com, or you can give our beginner trading episode a listen. We'll have that link in the episode description for you. But we love to hang out, and you might find it more useful to head on over to our Discord server. You could ask us any direct questions. We're always on there chatting around, Kyle and I, every day. It's really just an awesome place to be.
Every day.
And when you do join the server, send us a private message or email with your mailing address, and we'll send you a Smash It Yourself mug straight from the shop. Those are getting more popular, Kyle.
Yeah. Starting to run low. I have to place another order. Also looking at t-shirts or other things that people might like. So if there's if anybody's got any suggestions. I mean, I was kind of wanting to keep with the China Shop theme, but it's kind of hard to build brand awareness with the plate. Or tea kettle.
Oh, yeah. A little short-sighted there in the marketing department.
Yeah, well.
I'm still waiting for my China Shop mug, by the way.
Actually, I need to send you a case of them so that way you can hand them out like we talked about.
Did I not send you my address in a private message in the Discord server?
No, actually you did not.
Oh, well, that's there you go. That's why I don't have a mug. Oh, folks, we're really glad you're here joining us today. We have a lot of fun, and it's always better with friends. So great that you're here. We'd like to start the show off with a little bit of show news. Kyle, we got some exciting things happening here in the shop.
Yep. Next week, we should have our episode with Nicholas Proughton. Am I saying that right?
Yep. Nicholas Proughton, the cryptocurrency expert.
He is a load ambassador, and that is not what you think. He's not a porn star.
I am the ambassador of the loads.
Had a good conversation with him about a different direction some cryptocurrency. At least the project he's working on is looking to take.
Yeah.
So yeah, give that a listen. Should be available on Wednesday, and then starting at the end of this month, so the bonus episode released after that will be a month-end review. Dan and I have been talking about ways to kind of catch up any new listeners, because as the show has been continuing, like our level of knowledge has been growing. If you look back at 6 months ago where we were, it was a completely different show.
Yeah.
So we'd like to maybe try to do that to see if we can't just offer some recaps, maybe refreshers on some lessons that we've learned in the past, any number of things like that. But just a chance to kind of go back through and re-emphasize some of those key points.
Oh, folks, we've got a bulbous, chattering, dangerous show for you today. Lots of market-moving news, plenty of stocks on the radar, and more options than a hungry tiger loose inside a daycare.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
I wrote a whole new list.
That's awful.
They're all pretty bad.
It's been 1 year since the Tiger King came out. I assume you're doing it for that.
Oh, no, I just was thinking about how terrible it would be for a tiger to get loose at a daycare, and I thought it was funny.
You got a fucked up mind.
Oh,
right.
well, you've got a fucked up mind. Folks, reach out to us. We just adore your messages and comments on Twitter and Facebook, TikTok, Discord. If you're old school, you can send us an email to twobulls@financialineptitude.com or even a phone call to 725-22-BULLS. I guess phone calls really are the oldest school. But yeah, give us a call. Maybe you've got a hot stock tip. Maybe you want to tell us about a great trade you just made. Maybe you want to admonish me for thinking it's funny that a tiger might want to eat children at a daycare. It doesn't matter. We love it when you reach out.
Okay. We did get a message, too, from our good friend in Texas, Mark. Mark had a couple of good topics that he wanted us to bring up. So one of them was the use of trailing stops. So I think we're going to cover that in more detail, probably with that month-end review show that we just mentioned.
Yeah.
The other topic that stuck out to me that he asked was whether you and I consider ourselves investors or traders. So I'm curious where you define yourself, Dan. I know where I define myself, but I'll let you answer that first.
I'm a trader, for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt. No doubt. The fact that when I discovered the wheel strategy, I sold out of my long-term positions to start playing it should reveal to you the fact that
that's right.
I am more into how to play and playing than I am just building wealth.
I am on the opposite side of that spectrum then. At heart, I am definitely an investor. That's partly why it's so hard for me to sell anything, because I've been in the accumulation mindset since I basically got into this game. Whether it's losing positions or winning positions, like in my mind, it doesn't matter because I'm not looking to harvest any of that until 20 years down the road. I do like what we're doing here. I like learning. I like playing. It definitely satisfies my gambling itch. But I mean, we're talking about maybe 5% of my total retirement assets that I have dedicated to this experiment.
Right.
But on the other hand, if we find, real long-term sustainable success, then I have no problem shifting gears. But, got a lot of history to try to overcome to get past that.
Yeah. Okay, before we move on to the bet results, what were the results of our Twitter poll, Kyle?
All right. We asked the people which direction bond yields were going to end the week. We had 100% saying the yields were going up, and I think 100% were wrong. Didn't have very good turnout on this one, though, so take that with a grain of salt. We may end up trying to shift when we post that Twitter poll. I don't think that Saturday night is the best time to be posting a poll about the market. So, we may end up shifting that to Monday.
Monday morning's probably best. Yeah,
kind of screws up some of the logistics of trying to get it in the the episode description and everything else. So you may have to check back on Monday for those links.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, let's get to the bet.
All right, let's move on to the bet results. And as always, as is tradition, Kyle, I believe you go first.
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I picked Jabil. They were listed as an IT company. They were hitting new highs all the week before, so I was like, well, let's see if their momentum will carry them. They opened the week at 51.15, and they sank. But that weird Friday event where 30 minutes before close, everything shot up like a rocket, actually made it so JBL closed at 51.72.
No one was more disappointed than me.
I ended up with a 0.5% gain, which brought my dollar total from 485.90 up to 491.31. So I'm only down 2% for the month.
I was watching that all week too, and I'm like, I got a shot because Philip, our MO, my bet pick, was just kind of steadily climbing all week. Yours was steadily sinking. I was like, oh man, I might be able to flip this thing. Then that last 30 minutes, fucking ridiculous. All right. I picked MO, opened the week at $50.45, closed at $52.50. So that brings my bet total from $444.07 up to $462.11. So still lagging, but at least going in the right direction. We've been shrinking that gap 2 weeks in a row now. Only 1 week left, though.
How did our random do?
Our random did terribly. Nobody was happier. COHU was our random. Opened the week at $44.75, closed at $40.83. However, it peaked at $45.01 before dropping below its 15% stop loss at $38.26.
Ooh.
So that takes the random down from $468.76 all the way down to $400.78.
Damn.
So the random is firmly in last place. It is the James May of the Two Bulls in a China Shop this week.
Take that, random. Take that, James May.
Yeah, fuck you, random. Captain Slow.
Fantastic. Okay, so we've got our last round of betting for this month. We'll find out the winner next week, but stay tuned to the end of the episode. We'll have our last bet picks for March. And remember, folks, make your bet picks too. Get them up on the Discord, email them, leave them as a phone call. Get your bet picks in by the end of the week for the following week. You can play along with us. We got a new month starting, so if you get them in,
before Monday open, then you can play along. Yeah, if you're listening after Monday open, then you can submit for the week following.
Yeah, just submit your bet pick for next week. It's okay. You can get them in early. It's really fun when you all play along with us. You know what that brings us to, Kyle? Brings us to the news.
Let's get some news.
Well, we all know why we're listening today. The shop is bursting with the week to replay. So sit back, we got some market affairs. Yeah, some stories for the bulls and the bears. Clowns running companies, laws change overnight. Here we are. It's time for China Shop News. Yeah, now it's time for China Shop News.
I'll go ahead and lead us off. Big story I saw this week. Well, I should probably lead off with the Powell Yellen thing, huh?
Yeah, let's lead off with that, as we talked about it a lot last week.
We did. Okay, so Powell and Yellen finally went and talked again. So Powell and Yellen went and talked to Capitol Hill this past week.
Mm-hmm.
And we definitely saw some market downward movement centered around what they were saying.
It was going down the whole time they were talking, it seemed like. I was like, man, damn, what are they telling everybody?
It was a regular AMD investor presentation.
It's kind of what it felt like. God damn.
Nerdy white guy up there starts talking and the stock just starts tanking.
So what did they actually say?
So Powell was assuring lawmakers that inflation will rise, but it won't get out of control. And he further said that bond yields increasing is a sign of investor confidence.
What?
Yeah.
I wonder why everything went down.
As we know here in the shop, last week I did a little bit of a dive on bond yields and bond prices and what they reflect in the market. And we learned that they raise the yield of the bond to attract buyers. So if they're having to attract buyers by raising these yields, does that mean there's confidence in investors?
Unless it's like there's not enough of them to go around. People want them too much. Because I think supply and demand could maybe affect it too, but I don't think that's the case.
Well, even so, even if it was supply and demand, if you're raising the yield on the investment, you're not running out of supply. If you're running out of supply, you'll lower the yield to get people to stop buying them because you don't want to run out.
Oh, yeah, it's backwards. Yeah, the yield's what they're paying. Yeah, never mind.
Yield is what they're getting paid in a return for buying the bond. So if the yields are going up, it means people aren't buying enough bonds and they want people to buy more bonds. So they'll say, oh, we'll give you a higher yield if you buy our bond. Yeah, so I feel like Jerome Powell's a little bit full of shit trying to trying to make things rosier than they are. But, you know, he also is in a really bad spot because things he could say something that, as we see, anything he says, the market scrutinizes and reacts to. So what's he going to say?
Right.
We're fucked, guys. These bond yields are going up and the market's going down. Sell.
Just some honesty. Like, hey, we're printing a lot of money. Inflation's starting to ramp up. We're not worried yet, but I mean, it is going up. That's all you got to say. Be honest.
Be fucking honest.
I think people would be fine with honesty, wouldn't they?
I would hope so, or at least appreciate
Should that
it.
be our Twitter poll? Would you prefer honesty or rosy fucking outlooks?
Right?
That everyone knows is bullshit.
Well, it seems the U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen did dose us with a little bit of honesty. She strongly hinted on Tuesday and reiterated on Wednesday that there are higher corporate tax rates coming up this year. So another thing that was pushing markets down.
Not out of left field.
Right. We said that when Biden got elected in November, like, well, here comes some corporate tax hikes.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody.
Shocked, I say. Shocked. That Democrat's going to raise corporate taxes? Never. Never in my life.
All right. Never have I ever.
Never have I ever heard of such a thing, sir. Good day.
All right. I'm a little fired up. Let's move on from that.
Yeah, what do you got? What else you got for us, Kyle?
All right, the biggest, well, I guess not this or the biggest news, but the nicest news to come out on Friday was the jobless claims coming in at a 1-year low.
Right.
So definitely a nice sign for the economy recovery. Maybe that was part of what was given some of that boost on Friday, but I'm pretty sure those numbers come out in the morning. Still don't know why that Friday jump was, but it's definitely good to see that those claims are dropping.
Moving on, the Fed has set a date to lift the buyback and dividend restrictions on banks.
Are these all the ones that took bailout money?
Yeah, I believe so.
I mean, that's the only reason why they can restrict that, right?
I don't know. I believe banks have different regulations than other companies.
I thought those were all part of taking, federal money for whatever.
I would have to look that up. Maybe a listener out there knows. They could reach out and let us know. But I do know that after the announcement that they're going to lift these restrictions for financial companies, J.P. Morgan was up, Citigroup was up, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs. Banks Thursday and Friday were just all up as a sector, as an industry.
Nice.
So I think it's interesting that the Fed can, like, I get buybacks. They're saying you're a bank, you need to keep some capital on hand. But to me, it's interesting that dividends, like that they can shut off dividends.
See, that's what I think it has to do with whether or not they received bailout money.
Yeah.
I think is what that's all tied to. And that's just to keep them from taking money and then using it to benefit shareholders. Because dividends and buybacks kind of do the same thing. You're buying back, you're reducing the outstanding supply, so you're going to increase the price because you're making the stock more scarce.
Right.
And then with the dividend, you're just redistributing it to all the shareholders directly, as opposed to just trying to bring the price of the stock up through purchasing outstanding shares. So I think that's more what it was about.
What was the news story that you were super excited to talk about, Kyle?
The big one that I want to talk about was the Suez Canal.
Yes.
This fucking huge ship that's just wedged in the canal right now, completely blocking all traffic.
It's I read it's as long as the Empire State Building is tall.
Yeah, that's fucking massive. And then I was seeing people on Twitter commenting on it. They're like, it doesn't look that hard to me. Just grab a couple tugboats and pull it out. Like, I don't think people either don't realize what a tugboat does, or they don't realize like what the ship's not just like touching two walls. It's actually aground. The way a tugboat works, it's just it works on the print. Like, I don't know if anyone's ever gone kayaking or canoeing, but it's super easy to move your canoe or your kayak around in the water, but beach it onto the ground and then try to drag it off, and it takes considerably more effort to actually dislodge something like that. And then with the mass that we're talking about on this ship, I mean, they're in there right now trying to dredge the bottom that the ship is run aground on, like out of there, to try to free it. And if they can't get it freed, I mean, you're looking at weeks to try to get this thing freed up, because they'll have to start bringing in a 200-foot crane to start pulling containers off of it to try to lighten it up, so hopefully it'll start floating again.
This ship, it's got those railroad shipping containers, and it looks like they've got 20 of them,
like Connexes,
wide and easily 10 to 12 tall.
Yep. across the entire length.
Yeah, across the length of the Empire State Building, like the weight of this vessel is just so enormous because all of those are filled with stuff. I mean, we're talking. I don't have the number in front of me. How much goods are on that ship? Like how many millions, hundreds of millions of dollars? The blockage itself is holding up, not just on that ship, but all the ships on either side waiting.
Yeah, there's about like 400 of them.
$9.6 billion of goods each day.
Yep.
Or $400 million an hour arrive. $400 million of goods an hour arrive at the Suez Canal to pass.
Yep.
And we're just every hour that number gets bigger. So at the time of this article, it was 9.6 billion, but that article came out a while ago. So 18 hours ago.
They're hoping to know if they're going to get it freed up by this Saturday evening, I think. But yeah, if they don't get it by then they're probably going to have to start pulling containers, and then this is going to last a lot longer. And all these ships that are stacked up are going to have to basically turn around and go around Africa as opposed to cutting through and add a couple more weeks to their shipping times. So yeah, this could have some more far-reaching consequences than you initially think.
If this article was 18 hours ago, which would mean that right now there are a total of $17.8 billion of goods sitting at the Suez Canal. That's huge. Supply chains are going to be affected by this. Make no mistake.
We've already seen that when the pandemic hit, just how quickly the supply chains can be disrupted by just a few people buying a little bit extra of everything.
Exactly. They claimed that it was wind that did this.
It was a wind and dust storm combination that caused them to, I don't know if it blew them off course or if they just couldn't see where they were going and then drifted into an area of low depth area.
They hit sand.
Yeah, they basically hit sand.
Shallow waters.
Yeah. There you go. That works.
Yeah, that's a kind of a big deal. We'll see how that plays out.
All right, the other one I wanted to quickly bring up, we're starting to run a little long here, so I won't spend too much time on this, but China suddenly has decided to retaliate against clothing brands after some Western sanctions came through. Xinjiang cotton, that province has come under fire as being an area that's, it's China. We can just say it, right? We don't have to say alleged.
Yeah, I'm not afraid of China.
I think we could just say it. So basically, human rights violations going on in that province. This H&M company, I think it's a Danish company. Okay, so I don't remember where the company's from. The H&M...
They're Swedish.
Over half a year ago, they made a statement saying that they weren't going to use any of that cotton. And then China basically went and pulled all their brands from any of the sites or mobile apps. Their Swedish brand. Two Chinese celebrities severed deals with them. The state media outlets are calling out other brands now, including Nike, New Balance, and Burberry, for not using their cotton. And here's the statement from their Commerce Ministry spokesperson. Pure and flawless Xinjiang cotton cannot allow any forces to smear or blacken it.
Wow.
Okay.
Strong words.
Stop using slave labor to process it, and
yes,
then you can say something.
I'm not a human rights activist, and I'm not super informed on what's going on in China. But I do know the basics, and the basics are that they've been going into villages, Muslim villages, and rounding up all the people, sending them to re-education centers, and then giving them jobs in the cotton fields. Sounds pretty sketchy to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
Look, we gave them education and jobs. They should be happy.
Yeah, okay. I'm not gonna comment anymore on that. I'll get myself in trouble.
On the other end of the spectrum, you've got here in America an American company called Amazon, who
oh my God,
has lately been trolling U.S. Congress members on Twitter in what TheVerge.com calls a perplexing new PR strategy.
What exactly are they trying to accomplish, or what are they upset about?
Well, there's a big push to unionize in Amazon.
Yeah, okay.
Their working conditions, as we've been informed by many workers, are pretty intense. They've got just a zillion packages to move. There's a lot of work to do. Like, I understand why they're so intense and why Amazon is trying to push them so hard is to keep it all going. We've just been having like lots of stories where Amazon workers will talk about how they have to pee in a bottle. They they don't actually have the time to go on a bathroom break. They shit in bags, even.
Are you saying it's actually worse than what South Park made it look like?
I didn't see that South Park, but probably.
Oh, okay.
Right? So, like, and then on top of that, apparently Amazon's only paid a few $1 billion in corporate taxes over the past few years. So, like, you've got Elizabeth Warren going after him, saying they're exploiting tax loopholes, and Amazon tweeted back at her, "You make the tax laws, Senator Warren. We just follow them. If you don't like the laws you've created, by all means, change them."
What is the purpose? What? That is very perplexing.
They are daring Elizabeth Warren to go ahead, change the laws. Okay.
What is your strategy? We've talked a lot about Jeff Bezos being a burgeoning supervillain.
Right.
This is definitely a step in that direction.
Bernie Sanders had posted, "I look forward to meeting with Amazon workers in Alabama on Friday. All I want to know is why the richest man in the world, Jeff Bezos, is spending millions trying to prevent workers from organizing a union so they can negotiate for better wages, benefits, and working conditions." And Amazon tweeted, "You don't really believe the peeing in bottles thing, do you? If that were true, nobody would work for us. The truth is, we have over 1 million incredible employees around the world who are proud of what they do and have great wages and health care." To which I believe Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez tweeted a copy of an email that went out from Amazon Logistics with some on-road area manager, Jen Snyder, saying, "This evening, an associate discovered human feces in an Amazon bag that was returned to station by a driver. This is the third occasion in the last 2 months when bags have been returned to the station with poop inside. We understand that DAs may have emergencies while driving on road, and especially during COVID. If you struggle, they've struggled to find bathrooms while delivering. Regardless, DAs must not return bags to station with poop inside." Oh, so
Jesus.
So it seems really, really strange. But Amazon, that's their new PR policy, is to just attack. We'll see where it gets them. We'll see where it gets them.
Yeah, I'll be following that one. I'll have to go follow their Twitter.
Right? Makes me want to follow their Twitter. So and we bring that up right after a China story, just to show you how bold American companies are able to be in our system of freedom.
And they still won't touch Xinjiang cotton.
Yeah, but in China, it's a different game over there for sure.
All right, I got one last thing I wanted to quickly touch on, and that was just New York passing their recreational marijuana. Another step on the path to becoming rich by marijuana, as both you and I are attempting to do.
Yes!
I don't know if you're still carrying your MJ ETF anymore, but seeing New York take the steps to do that should definitely be a step in that direction.
Some pot stocks did well for a day after that news.
That wasn't mine.
I don't currently have MJ specifically, but I do have a few pot stocks in my holdings.
I think MJ is starting to look pretty attractive again.
Yes, it is.
In fact, I'll cover that when we get to options, but that was part of a FUBAR on my end. But that's all I got for news. What about you?
Oh, I'm all set to move on and talk about some stocks.
Here we come, trading on the street. Get the craziest gains from when we're in too deep. Hey, we're just two bulls smashing through a China shop. We're so glad you joined us, and now it's time to talk about stocks.
I didn't move into any new positions or out of any positions. I still have my IDEX shares. I got my OGI shares. I got Sundial, and then I've got 100 shares of Westwater. Trying to do a covered call. see how just
Right.
dipping my toes in the water of instead of like, oh, I want to sell a put to get 100 shares. I was like, actually, right now, I think if I sell a covered call, I get in at a cheaper price. And all of my shares went down. If you recall, a week before last, Sundial had that earnings, and they peaked at $1.70 a share after hours.
Yeah. Yep. I do remember that.
They ended this week at $1.13.
Oh, it's buy point. Get it now.
Well, that's the sick thing is that my first thought was like, well, I should pick up more shares. But I've already got too big a position in Sundial in terms of like I'm trying to keep my portfolio spread and diversified. And I've got two pot stocks, Sundial and OGI, and it's just like, okay, what am I doing?
Yeah, neither of those seem to be doing too well for you either. Why couldn't you bet on those?
Right? When I look at it, when I do my calculations on based on selling options and how that, if I apply that to the share price, my Sundial shares, half of them cost me $1.21. The other half have cost me $1.17. So I am actually at that point where I'm at a total loss, even with the money I added from what I got from the covered calls.
Right. I'm kind of in that same scenario with FCell. I just had a bunch of puts expire this weekend, got put to me. So I now own blocks of shares purchased at $16 a share and $17.50 a share. But because the premium is actually only $14.50, plus the covered call I sold, so I think I have a position larger than I probably want to have, but roughly at about just a hair over $14 a share. But that's okay, because I mean that's kind of the whole point of the strategy is you want to get those shares, so now I can start selling calls on them. So I'll be looking next week to see, what kind of prices I can start getting, looking to see how far out I need to go in order to sell those, in order to really turn a good profit on them.
We'll have to circle back around that when we get to options. That's one of the big things that I'm noticing. The longer we go, the more it's the same. It's the same discussion. If I'm talking about stocks, I'm talking about options. If I'm talking about options, I'm also talking about stocks.
I was figuring like if I was making a trade in options to try to add a position in a stock, that I was going to cover it in stocks. So like selling puts, I think are now going to start going in this section for me.
That makes sense.
Because that's a trade I'm making to try to buy them.
That makes sense. So yeah, all my stocks, the share value ended the week lower than it started. And that big number at the big top of my portfolio when I open the Ameritrade app is not rising as fast, at all. It's sinking, and I want it to be rising, damn it.
Oh, man. My portfolio all last week, I was watching the S&P and NASDAQ and everything kind of put up like slight gains or like just trading like pretty flat, but yet still losing like 5% in my portfolio a day. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
What is happening? I
picked way wrong this week.
I'll wrap up my portion of the stocks I wanted to go over. I've been keeping my list all week of 52 week highs. And we got to the end of the week with the longest streak right now is Anthem Incorporated, ANTM. They're a healthcare company that 3 days in a row. They ended Friday, 3 days in a row with new 52-week highs.
Where did you also had Nucor? That was the one that we ended up using for our Friday pick-em this week.
Yes.
How did they do?
Nucor ended the week 2 days in a row. They had an incredible week for sure. NUE, Nucor Corporation. And did you used to work for them?
I did, and I actually was buying shares while I was working for them because they had a really nice employee purchase program. I had those shares since like 2008, and they never really did anything until just recently. It was like this week. I think you told me the pick that you wanted to put in for the pick-em, and I went and looked up their chart. I was like, oh shit, they actually are moving. I haven't seen that price since I was first buying them.
You still have those shares?
I have some of them. I think I sold out a large block of them when I was changing jobs. Mm-hmm. Then I went back and purchased some more again in my TD Ameritrade account. So I have a position. I just don't have the same one that I started with back then.
One of the reasons that one made it on the pick'em list for me when it was time to pick one, it looks like that they're really approaching an all-time high. They passed their highest point since 2008.
They're doing it with authority, too.
Oh yeah, like really, really strong. And that's the exact thing that Darvis, like, I try to simplify it to 52 weeks, but his thing was like all-time high. That's when I want to buy a stock. When they just hit this exact situation with momentum, with force, they break through that all-time high. Like, we'll see Monday or Tuesday what they do.
Right. With all the infrastructure news, though, I mean, with the Biden put together a huge plan for that. I mean, you got to think it's going to keep going. Yeah, that's who's going to make all that structural steel for all that stuff.
Right. They're gonna. It's industry. Boom, industrials. So Tuesday and Wednesday, my lists shrank. There were only 9 companies that hit new 52-week highs on Wednesday.
Wow.
I was really watching for that to keep shrinking, to see like well, I think we're getting in bear territory. Winter's coming, but Thursday the numbers popped back up, and by the time we ended Friday, there was 90 companies on the list. So
okay,
no bear territory for us. So that's gonna wrap up all the stuff I had to talk about stocks.
All right, I'm kind of the same as you. The more we get into this, the more I try to pick my spots a little bit better. I didn't purchase any shares. I mentioned the F-Cells shares that I now have because of the options I was selling. So far, down about $1 and change a share right now. So not off to a great start, but this is the second part of the wheel. So we get to see what happens now when I get to start selling those covered calls on it.
Right.
One stock that I was trying to get a position in was PLTR. I picked them as a bet pick not too long ago. It did terribly for me.
Yes.
But I keep seeing Kathy Woods, ARK Invest, just keeps buying millions of shares, keeps buying and buying and buying. She's still believing in this company wholeheartedly. That's the next one that I'm looking to get a hold of, so I'm starting to try to sell some puts on PLTR. I sold one batch on, I think it was either, what was it, Thursday or Friday? Probably Friday, April 16th, 2250 put. I sold for $1.65, which nice premium on that.
Yeah.
For something that's got to be bottomed out, or close to bottoming out. Expires in a couple weeks. I may end up trying to sell a few more of those or another batch of them. Just see if I can. I got the fucking margin balance again, so now I got to figure out how to unwind some of that again. I wasn't expecting F-Cell to really actually, have them. I guess that's part of what you have to really plan for when you try to sell some of these contracts. Is you gotta actually plan for having them. The other thing I tried to do was I tried to sell a put on MJ at 2250 also, and I did the same fucking mistake I did last week where I bought instead of sold.
Oh.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? So I unwound from that. I lost 6 cents a contract this time. I resisted the urge to try to hold it and try to get, at least my money back out of it. As soon as I saw the mistake, I was like, nope, get out of this.
Oops, you did it again. You made the wrong call. You're watching it fall. Oh, not again. You thought that you were so great and you couldn't wait. You're not that good at this.
Oh, God damn it. All right, the last thing I wanted to talk about in stocks was about GameStop.
Oh, and yeah.
I still have, 75% of the initial shares that I had. I was tossing around whether or not to sell off another 25% block. After seeing this article come out, I think I'm still on board with the direction they're moving. And it was strange, too. I posted this in our Discord. It was The Motley Fool. The headline was, most of GameStop's board members are bailing on the company. To me, that's a very strange way to word that, because we all know that Ryan Cohen's plan has been to transform this company into the digital age. The same thing he did with Chewy. This looks more to me like cleaning house.
Right.
But the part I can't wrap my head around is that you got this company that all these people in the media have been beating up on, just calling like a bankrupt, defunct company, and now like we're going to give weight to their board members of this company that you thought was an $8 a share stock are jumping ship. The same people that have been steering that ship for the last fucking however long.
Oh, that ship that's headed for the iceberg. The captain got off. We're all doomed now.
Yeah,
we weren't doomed before.
Yeah, but we're getting a new captain who actually went to school for this, and he knows how to steer.
Right. He specializes in sharp turns away from the iceberg.
Why is this being spun as bad news? That is beyond me. I can't figure that out. So yeah, I think I'm going to hold on to those shares a little bit longer. We had a big old discussion on that in the Discord. So if
we did,
if you want to, I don't think we have time to recap that whole thing. But if people want to see that, it's still in there. We don't delete anything.
Yeah.
That wraps up what I have for stocks.
Okay, so do you want to move on to give us some earnings? Do we have earnings? Is earnings season done?
We do. Next week is going to be almost none, but there are some good ones this week.
Yeah, let's cue that music and get some earnings going.
My motto's always been, when I'm right, it's right. So I'll wait and watch the charts and the change in price. When the movement's mostly finished at the end of the day, and we know the coming earnings gonna move it my way. Sky rockets in sight, earnings call delight. Earnings call delight.
Tuesday, we've got Chewy, McCormick's, and Omex. I threw Omex on there because that was one of the ones that you flagged back when we first started doing this podcast. I think that was an oil exploration company that was trying to decide whether or not they had the rights to something in South America.
Oh, they were fighting Mexico over the rights.
Mexico? Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, their earnings are coming out on Tuesday, so I've just been kind of following them since we've been talking about them back then. On the 24th, we've got MU. I think that's Micron. That's one of your semiconductors that you'd called out when the industry was hot. We've also got on the 24th, Guess Jeans and IDEX, another stock that you've been playing around with.
Mm-hmm.
Guess I tossed in there because Nordstrom had been doing so well. I think we tried following Guess to see if they had kind of similar outcomes that Nordstrom did, and I don't remember how that actually worked out 3 months ago, but worth keeping an eye on. Then on the 25th, we've got CarMax, KMX, and then PLAY. And fuck if I can remember what play was, but
Dave & Buster's.
What is it? Oh, Dave & Buster's. Yeah, Dave & Buster's is trading at 52-week highs right now, and I can't figure out why.
Oh, because people are going to start going back to their place.
But that gets into a high? Oh, I guess it's March now.
Holy shit. They went from Wednesday at under 44 to Friday. They almost hit 52. Wow, that's a rocket ship. Whoa. So
pre-pandemic, they reached a high in October of 2018 at $63 a share. Right before the drop, they were trading at around 47, 48, and they're over that now. That doesn't make any sense to me. They're better positioned now than they were before everything shut down.
That is weird.
So, yeah, I'm going to be watching that one. I want to see if that one pulls back after those earnings come out.
I think that's a good one to straddle. Oh, and they've got weekly options.
Well, their earnings are on Thursday, so if you want to make that play, Dan, let us know how it goes.
I can't. It's too expensive. But I think there's some money to be had. But anyway, let's save that for options. Blah blah blah. What else for earnings?
That's it.
All right. Yeah, they are getting slimmer and slimmer. But that's how it goes.
There's going to be none next week, so I guess we got some use out of that song. We'll have to put it away for a little bit now.
Right. This is the last bit. Okay. All right. So, moving on. Folks, I'd like to take a moment to tell you about how Two Bulls in a China Shop is brought to you by Sue Pullen at Fairway Independent Mortgage, an equal housing lender. Sue Pullen is a certified mortgage advisor who focuses on finding the right product for you and your needs. She's got so much experience. She's been doing this over 20 years. She's just helped so many people purchase homes. She's helped them refinance homes. She's even done reverse mortgages for folks. She will help if you reach out to her. She's licensed in 25 states and growing, so there's a good chance she's licensed in your state. You can reach out to her and see what Sue can do for you. Hit her up on the phone. You can give her a call at 520-977-7904. You can shoot her an email, spullen@fairwaymc.com. Fairway Independent Mortgage has an MLS number of 2289. Sue Pullen has an MLS number of 206048. And once again, that email is spullen@fairwaymc.com, SPULLEN. And that phone number is 520-977-7904. Reach out to Sue for all your mortgage needs.
All right, Dan, ready for some options?
Ooh, yeah, let's cue that music.
A little less conversation, a little more options, please. All this volatility just ain't bothering me. A little more puts, a little less small, a little less hooks, a little more calls. Cause they're trading open up your ears, baby. It's time for options. It's time for options, baby.
Go ahead, Dan. Why don't you lead us off?
Okay, well, I still have a litany of calls and puts out there, but I just wanted to go over the new positions I opened up this week. They, as you'll be shocked to hear from what I just said about looking at the Dave & Buster's PLAY, they were all straddles and strangles. Now, my strategy for these is I try to look at ones with a lower implied volatility because I'm buying them.
Right.
I'm buying naked calls and puts. So I want a low premium. I look for ones that have weekly options because I want to get it in that last week when I'm paying for the least amount of time. That's just what I found my personal preference for. I've had mixed results. So I've had some hit big, and I've lost quite a bit of money on the others because it is naked options in the buff, if you will. So I opened a straddle on Pfizer PFE. At a $35.50 strike. So I bought 35.50 calls and I bought 35.50 puts. The stock was right around 35.50 when I bought it. If I'm buying a straight straddle, it's because the price is within 10 cents of that strike above or below. That's where I found straddles to be most useful, is when you can enter the position with the price being right at that strike.
As close to the strike as possible.
Yes. Now, I posted a thing on the Discord, like Pfizer had some bad news. They had one of their drugs deemed like not for market. So I was like, sweet, they're going to tank. Good time to have a straddle. But I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about because they immediately went up. That call has gone up 68%. It's closing in on my target. If it raises in value another 20%, I can sell the call and make 25% profit on the trade and still have the put to see what the put does.
Right, okay.
Because on these straddles and strangles, one of the reasons they're so attractive to me is one, you're just betting on that there's a movement. You're not betting it's going to go up. You're not betting it's going to go down. You're betting it's going to go either up for a couple days or down for a couple days. So it went up. If it hits that point, I could sell the call, made money on the whole trade, and then it turns around. I've still got 3 days left, and it turns around. That put might increase in value, and I increase the gains and can really make more money on the straddle. I opened up another straddle on AT&T, the stock ticker being the letter T.
I have shares.
Right? I got a $30 strike, and that one, it was so close to hitting. I got 10 cents shy on the call because it was up Friday.
I could have told you that one doesn't really move it a lot. I've had that stock for almost a decade now, and it's still trading at about the same point where it was at. That's why people like that stock, because it doesn't really move, but it's got almost a 7% dividend right now. So
okay.
If you're trading AT&T, you're buying it for the dividend and to protect your capital.
Gotcha. Well, then let's just hope for a few more cents higher on Monday. And then I got another GE. I went back to the GE $13 strike. I managed to get them while the price was at $12.90. It was at like $13.05, and it actually ended on Friday at $12.99. So that one has not made me anything. That is lost. That's lost. And I also and I did this on Friday, right about an hour before, maybe a couple hours before. This was before the big upswing. I bought a strangle on the NASDAQ. I used the SQQQ because the price per share.
Triple leverage.
Yeah, it's triple leverage, but also I used the SQQQ because it's down. The price was at $14 a share, while the TQQQ was up in the 80s or 90s. So I could afford, but it's the same bet.
Yeah.
If it's a straddle or a strangle,
right,
doesn't matter if it's a bear fund or a bull fund. You're making the same bet.
Yep.
So I bought, it was at 14, so I bought $15.50 calls and about $12.50 puts. So I bought it $1.50 either way because they were just so cheap. And my thinking was, all I need is this NASDAQ to move solid in one direction for a few days. And I thought it was going to be down. I thought it would be going to be down based on Wednesday and Thursday. But no, it shot up big. So I'm anxious to see Monday and Tuesday that NASDAQ shoot up. And we'll see if my SQQQ strangle is going to pay off.
Seems like lately the Monday, Tuesday have been bad days for the NASDAQ.
Well, I just hope they're really bad.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you got anything else for options, Dan?
Nope. That'll wrap up all my exciting trades.
All right. Well, I covered most of my stuff actually in the stocks portion, but I did have a couple other moves that I made. My OCGN shares last week, or last Friday, was it last? No, it was last Friday. The covered call I'd sold on that had already expired, worthless, so I went and sold another $12.50 call expiring April 16th on them. I got $1 on it this time. So my purchase price on those shares went from $7.50 down to $6.50 now, which is good because the stock is trading at like $7. So got 2 blocks of those at April 16th. Be looking to probably try to get out of that, or maybe sell some covered calls closer to the strike price to try to get them to exercise, free up some capital. The last other move that I didn't cover yet was, remember that Jumia straddle I sold?
Yeah,
that's not looking so great right now. The stock has dropped all the way down to like $34. If you recall, the ended up the profitability break point on that was like $33.60.
Oh yeah.
So it's like right there now. But what I ended up doing was, because it's so far away from that $45 call, is I just went ahead and bought it out, just because that stock can move so fast. If it does end up going on like a 2-week tear, yeah, I closed out the call side of it, not the put side. Anyway, okay. Well, that was the last little bit I had for options. I do have some alerts, though, if we want to go through them real quick.
Yeah, let's hear them options alerts.
All right. Microsoft showed up again. 1/21/2022, $200 put at $10.20 a contract. 1.5 million. That was bullish sentiment, so I think that means somebody's selling those puts. Let's see. There was a SE 416 $210 call at $8.65 a contract, almost $500,000 or over $500,000. LVS 521 $62.50 strike price call at $3.05. That was 1.9 million. And then Alibaba popped up again. This one was 2 years out, which is January 20th of 2023, a $210 put at $37.95 a contract. That was 800,000. And then one of the other interesting things, I didn't put down the actual numbers in here, but I was seeing multiple put alerts on NEO last week, all of them with bullish sentiment. So that makes me think that people are selling puts on NEO, thinking that it's probably bottomed out at this point. But again, that's pure speculation. But yeah, NEO's been just beat up. I think they just recently had one of their plants shut down for 5 days because of the lack of semiconductors.
Yeah, chip shortage.
Yep.
Okay, is it time to
I think it's time.
What time is it? What are we doing? Well, I've got a problem in that the thing that I was going to mention for good, I forgot to mention back in stocks. So
that's fine.
You'll have to forgive me. I didn't do a ton of trading this week other than buying those options, and none of them would I qualify as a good. But what I would qualify as a good, some of those SPAC warrants, I bought into the TMKRW. I had bought into them at like 85. I bought into them at 85. They dipped down into the 50-cent range. And my expectation of this stock was I want to hold it to at least this summer, maybe later. I want to try and hold a little piece of something long term while I'm playing all these options games. And why not try the SPAC warrants, right? So I looked at it and I was like, it would have triggered a stop loss if I'd set one. And but I didn't, because I wanted to actually hold them. I don't want to sell out for any reason, damn it. So when it was in those 50s, I think it turned back around and it was low 50s. It was itching back up to the high 50s. I bought more. I doubled down. I doubled my holdings and cost averaged it down to 68 cents. No, I cost averaged it to 70 something. I'd have to pull it up. It's at 68 cents right now.
Okay.
But so it's already been a good move in terms of the value I've gotten out of it because I bought that second round lower than where it's at now. But I also think long term, that was the right move to make in that trader mentality of why do I have it? What's my plan with this particular holdings? And take that into account. And instead of being like so scared that it's fallen and like, oh my God, it's lost, 30% already. It's like, oh no, this is a good buying opportunity long term. So I thought that was really good.
If you're long on a stock, you want to be accumulating anytime it's cheaper, especially if you still believe in it.
Mm-hmm. Now, what was your good?
My good was hard to find.
Right?
My good is also tied to my ugly, if you can believe that. So making that same mistake again, but the last 2 times that I made that mistake where I accidentally bought instead of selling a position, I closed them out without even hesitating on it. And old me probably would have tried to at least try to get my money back, if not turn a little bit of a profit out of it. But, like the rational part of me right now, the trader that I am now, realizes like, hey, I made this bet this way for a reason. Why would I suddenly want to be on the other side of it and try to justify that to myself that it's okay? So the good for me is not the mistake I made, it's the way I exited it. No hesitating, just took my lumps and moved on.
That is good because that's progress and growth in you as a trader.
Exactly. What was your bad?
My bad was probably wasn't what I did this week. It was bad. It's what I did last week. I just saw that it was bad this week.
Okay, well, that's good.
And that was all the puts that I sold the week before. I didn't wait and watch for the movement to enter those positions at a better place than I could. I just jumped right in, and it was my impulsive trading. And so
we were excited to try a new strategy.
Yeah, exactly. My excitement in that overrode my senses and my reason and just jumped right on. So if on several of them, if I had waited, I could have done a lot better.
Mine is tied to my margin balance. After having to purchase a bunch of F cells again, and my margin balance is back. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, margin's a useful tool to help you when you don't have the liquidity to jump on a good buying opportunity. But for me, it affects me mentally. I'm very anti-credit. I hate carrying a credit card balance. I hate carrying any kind of debt whatsoever, to be honest with you. So seeing that number kind of fucks with my head a little bit. So that's why I threw it in there as a bad. Not sure how I'm going to deal with that at this point. I either got to eat a loss and just unwind it, or I got to carry on with my plan and just deal with the margin balance. So I don't know. I got to figure that out.
Yeah, I got to do the numbers.
Maybe that's the bad. That's part of the bad too, right? So I got to actually. I put myself in this situation without having a plan of how to deal with it.
I see.
Yeah, so just bad all around, actually. All right, what was your ugly, Dan?
I don't know if this qualifies as ugly or not. It felt ugly to me. Watching all of the puts I sold just all lose value. Well, they technically gained value, but since I sold them...
Not to you, yeah.
No, I didn't gain value to me. To the point where I even had my monthly addition to my portfolio. I got a land sale where I get a monthly check, and I put it right in my portfolio. I deposited that this week and immediately saw it just disappear. It was like I dropped the check into a burning trash barrel, is what it felt like.
Let's move on to the bet.
There we go. Ooh, a new bet. Get those tunes going.
Stocks. They're the center of a universe. That's for every one of us. Consequence for one of us. We make our picks with no regret. Every open, every close, every spread. It's the my bet.
All right, so bucking tradition, I guess I'm going to have to go first.
I don't know how you can say that now. You went first last week.
Well, I don't really remember a week ago, so it doesn't count to me.
That's not surprising.
All right. Well, I'm just trying to reestablish in your mind the fact that we all expect you to go first, no matter what happened last week.
All right.
Okay, yeah, fine. Trying to establish a new tradition that I don't like. My bet pick this week, believe it or not, I had just narrowed it down to two companies, Lowe's and Home Depot. They both hit 2 consecutive days of 52-week highs. They are in consumer discretionary, which is definitely a sector that we're seeing a lot of really, really on fire right now. And to me, I saw both of them hitting new 52-week highs on the same days, and all those other consumer discretionaries, and I thought, oh well, one of these will be a good solid one for my bet pick. Like, I don't think Lowe's and Home Depot are gonna crash this week. I mean, they could drop, but they've got they're sailing with the wind. And I chose Lowe's over Home Depot just because I like to shop there more. Just as a consumer.
Yeah, they give me my veteran discount, so I like them better too. And I've actually owned their stock before. I picked them over Home Depot. That was probably a decade ago. Yeah,
I just think that they have a better brand as me as a shopper. So if I had all other things equal, I ended up picking Lowe's. LOW.
Yeah, great job alienating our Home Depot listeners.
Oh shit! They all hate us now. Okay, we're never going to get on Home Depot radio.
All right. I am firmly in the behind, not in the lead. I think I need a big one. I need something good to happen this week. And I'm going to go off the board here, and I'm going to go with Tesla.
Whoa.
And I got a couple good reasons for this.
Whoa.
One, you just posted in the Discord a link to a story about Elon Musk tweeting and then deleting his tweet. He basically tweeted that the company's going to be bigger than anything or bigger than ever before or something like that in the next couple months, and then immediately deleted it. So kind of looks like something's up there, right?
And if we remember that he got in some trouble with the SEC for his tweets, so now they have a lawyer who reviews his tweets. So the fact that it got deleted, yeah.
Yeah, sounds like something's coming up. And the lawyer said, you can't tweet that. That's privileged information.
Yeah, I think all that Elon Musk bigger than Apple talk would be a great Twitter poll, Kyle. What do you think?
Yeah, that sounds good. So what, Twitter bigger than Apple, and is there a timeline on that, or just ever?
Will Tesla ever become bigger than Apple?
All right. Yes or yes or no?
Yeah, yes, no, or third option, Tesla and Apple become one company.
Okay, fair enough. Twitter or Apple buys the other one.
Right. All right, so we'll be shooting that Twitter poll out Monday morning.
Wait,
for you folks?
Can we get a name for that?
Yep.
After they merge, what are they going to be?
Oh yeah,
I think it should be Asla.
Asla, not Teppel.
Oh, maybe we should Twitter poll that too.
If Tesla and Apple merge, what should their stock? What should the company be called?
I can actually do 4 options, so maybe I'll throw those both in there. I'll think about it.
Appledesla. No. Okay, that's all. That's right. A tongue twister. Okay.
Yep. All right, random. Let's get a random here. TTD, Trade Desk. That's a stock. All right, that's a real one. Software, large cap growth. I remember these guys. Yeah, they've had a fucking hell of a year, too.
Uh-oh.
Seem to be on the downward slope.
Well, so they're going to turn around?
They're going to make about 20% to break even?
Yeah. Oh, God. If they get like a 40% run, I'm going to cry.
I don't think that's going to happen, but, never say never.
Oh, folks, we're so glad you stuck around to the end of the show. We love you so much, and we're glad you made it here with us. It's been a jam-packed day. Lots of fun stuff. I just wanted to take a moment to remind you that if you like our show, please let us know by rating and subscribing on your platform of choice. you like our show and you hate social media, that's okay too. You can just tell all your friends. And if you have no friends and hate social media, then you're shit out of luck. I don't know how you even found this podcast.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
We don't want you. You've got nothing. Got nothing for us.
Yeah, you got nothing to offer us. We're here for you. We're here for you. We are your friends here in the shop.
I was actually thinking we should do some pleas to people to tell their friends, but we should do it in different styles.
Okay.
Like, ask the listeners to tell their friends in the style of a spoiled 16-year-old not getting the sweet 16 party she wanted.
Oh! I swear to God, if you listeners don't start telling all your friends, I'm not coming out of my room and I'm not eating for like a day, maybe 2.
All right, your turn. Give me one.
Like somebody who's trying to really has to pee and they're trying to get into the bathroom, but somebody else in there is just taking their time.
Okay. God damn it! Hurry up, man! I gotta go, man. Tell your fucking friends already, please. Jesus Christ! Every fucking time. Why is there only one goddamn bathroom in this place? Do you have more than one friend in there? Come on, Jesus! Tell them already. All right, Dad. Plead for it like an orphan asking for more porridge.
Please, listeners, could you please tell your friends about the show? I'm ever so hungry for attention. As you can see, I've run out in my bowl, and I need it refilled. I'd love you for so long. It's all I need, really. Please, sir, please, tell your friends.
All right.
Oh, that's its own bit. Okay, folks. So glad you made it through that not nonsense as well. We love you. We'll catch you next week. Stay tuned. We're dropping that Nicholas Proughton bonus episode this Wednesday, and we'll catch you all again on next.
I don't know.
Next week.
Sure.
We'll catch you all next week,
or Wednesday, or whenever.
And
it drops out.
Or whenever. And until then, happy trades.
Are we really leaving all that crap in there?
Two Bulls in a China Shop is an entertainment program, and all thoughts and opinions expressed in the show belong to the hosts and not of any company. They are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual or on any specific security or investment product. It is only intended to provide entertainment about stocks and the financial industry of trading. If you make trades based on what you hear in this show, you assume all risks for those trades.